Welcome to part 2 of this week's Shortgrass podcast, where we concentrate on the UPMC Kildare Hurling Championships. We spoke with Mark Grace of Kildare, Ryan Bourne of Naas, Paul Dermody of Aero Corriquil and Cathal McCabe of Maynooth as they look forward to their respective UPMC Senior Hurling Championship semi-finals at Cedral St. Conleth's Park on Saturday afternoon. What a great weekend of hurling action we have in Kildare this weekend, and of course it's UPMC Hurling Championships finals and semi-finals, and we have on Saturday the UPMC Senior Hurling Championship semi-final. That's in Cedral St. Conleth's Park, and that's at 3:30. That's Kildare versus Naas, a repeat of a final a couple of years ago, and following that at 5:15, you have Aero Corriquil versus Maynooth. Our referee for the first game is Niall Colgan, and the referee for the second game is Brian Carney. Well, during the week I spoke with four of the players from those semi-finals. First of all, talking about Kildare and Naas, and later we'll hear from Ryan Bourne. But first of all, let's hear from Mark Grace of Kildare. Well, Mark, the late and great Jimmy McGee used to say when they're sitting around the firesides in years to come, when they're sitting around the fires in years to come, everybody's still going to be asked the question, how did you recover for that victory over Selbridge in the quarter-final?
Oh, yeah, I know. I was talking to a lot of people after the game and stuff like that, and they were saying, like, I know a few people who actually turned the game off and didn't actually realise that we had won the game. And look, we just regrouped at half time, and it was a tough ask, but we kind of knew, like, the wind, there was a strong enough wind there, and we kind of knew, like, if we just kind of stuck together and stuck to the game plan kind of thing, and we kind of got on top out around the middle in the second half, and it was just the whole thing, like, we got stuck in and we worked hard, and thankfully we got there in the end. Like, I think we only went ahead in the 59th minute, right. So yeah. It was we left it very late, but look, better late than never, I suppose.
I think the defence really shored up in that second half. I know you talked about the up front you scored, but the full back line stood out, and there was nothing there for the corner forwards after that.
Yeah, the first half we kind of left our full back line very exposed. You know, James Dolan for Selbridge there was running right and that, and I know the half forward line, especially Jerry Keegan going out to the middle of the field, you know, he was letting in great ball to James and stuff like that. But like, second half we went into the dressing room and we were just saying, like, we need to kind of protect Dylan at the back and Gordy and our full back line, and we kind of did that, and that was kind of the stall where we set our stall in the second half, and kind of that gave us the platform to kind of go on and win the game in the end.
That was then. This is now. It doesn't get any easier. A semi-final against Naas, the defending champions, and you know them well.
We do, yeah. We never make things easy on ourselves anyway, you know. What's the fun in that, you know? But yeah, look, where do you start with Naas? You know, they're the flag bearers of hurling in Kildare for the last 7-8 years. You know, I think it was 2019 where this kind of team made the breakthrough. They beat us in the final. It was a tight final, but yeah, look, the talent they have in the team is unbelievable, and you know, they can bring on 4, 5, 6, 7 subs, maybe even change to 15 of them, and it doesn't weaken the team one bit, you know. But look, we're under no illusions. It's going to be a tough ask, but no better team than Kildare, you know. We might have a few things up our sleeve, and hopefully, look, it's going to come down to hard work for not 20 minutes, not half an hour. It's going to be 60 minutes of hard work, you know, and hopefully, look, we'll get there in the end, but it's going to be a tough ask. Can you reflect back to 2014 and 2015 and those great years, and can you build on them, because the same manager's involved? Yeah, no, Paddy was with us 2013, 14, 15, I think. We won 2 in a row, 14 and 15 and that, and it was a great time for the club, and being involved in that, captain one of the years. And yeah, look, it's always look, I've two medals in my pocket. I've been beaten in more finals than I've won now, but it'd be great to get back to a final and hopefully win one again. Do you know what I mean? Do you know, we're not getting any younger at this stage. Our team is kind of the same group that was there in 2014 is kind of still there now. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it'd be nice to get back into a final again and hopefully win another one. But it's, like I said, it's not going to be easy, you know. But obviously there's a fair bit of confidence now after that performance last time out. Yeah, against Selbridge, look, the hard work trumps skill any day of the week, you know what I mean? And we just kind of have to get into a mindset where we're going to have to dog it out, and hopefully for 60 minutes we're able to do that, you know what I mean? So
Naas, as I say, you know, how do you prepare for them?
We at this stage of the season, we're just trying to keep the bodies right, because as you know, I think we have 13 or 14 dual players, and we're all playing last week with Alamuda and Kevin's. We're in relegation. Saturday and Sunday gone there, and I know Ian O'Neill picked up a bit of an injury there now, and he's going to be struggling for time to get back right in that. But look, about now it's just about touches. All the hard work is kind of done now at this stage. There's no point in flogging bodies, especially the likes of ourselves. I know Naas have a few dual players as well, but it's just about getting the bodies right, getting the eye in, bit of shooting and stuff like that. Like, we're just trying to mind the bodies at this stage of the season.
Well, the best of luck, Mark. Enjoy the game.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
A great year for you from a county point of view, and here you are in a club semi-final as well. So how do you keep it going?
It's the day-to-day things. Having a good bunch of lads around you as well helps a lot. It keeps the picture small and the feet in the ground. It's always the next training session, always the next day. So that's it.
I know you weren't involved, or your county colleagues weren't involved, but you lost a league final to Kyle Dove. How important was it to get back on the horse and win then the following day?
Huge. It was absolutely huge. I know a lot of the lads do the brute force of the work there at the start of the year when a couple of lads are missing, and it really showed that they rallied then when it really mattered most. It definitely helped then lads coming in, after the inter-county setup, and really boosted the team. And we'll be looking forward now to meeting them again when it matters most. How do you reflect on the championship? It's been a little bit start and stop, especially for some of the lads. I know a couple of lads are playing football as well, and sometimes it has taken up a bit of time, alright, in the last couple of weeks. But no, we've been doing good work there the last couple of weeks with the hurlers, and we're all really looking forward now to the game. Yeah, how difficult is it? Because you obviously you play for Easttown in football, then you transfer over to Naas for hurling. How difficult is it to keep both going? Well, you try and focus on the championship weekend, so it's championship week, and that's obviously the most important. But I'm very lucky with the two crews around me, Easttown and Naas. The lads are always very welcoming, and there's never any bad blood between skipping either the hurling or the football. So I'm very lucky with the two teams now to keep me going, we both have a great setup there, and I can hop in when I need to do some work and catch back up. No, you lost your own brother through injury the club final last year, Conan, and then James Burke. Any club would have difficulty in replacing those, but you seem to have managed admirably. Yeah, well, we'll definitely be looking to a couple of younger lads now coming through. There's some very strong hurlers, young strong hurlers there coming into the Naas setup now, this year and last year as well. So I think they'll definitely shoulder some responsibility anyway in the semi-final, and obviously the games, fingers crossed that the games hopefully coming from that. But no, it's very important, as you said, that when one or two lads can't unfortunately play and carry on, that there's lads there to back them up. But we're lucky now that they have some very strong young hurlers in. Yeah, that conveyor belt is very important, but also players coming off the bench can inspire you as well. Hugely, and I think that's what we enjoy. I mean, it's every day we go training, and it's an enjoyable experience. Everyone enjoys being around each other. And it makes that much easier then when lads do come off the bench and they are needed for the last 10-15 minutes of a game, that they've been around us for the last years anyway, but it just makes it that much easier then to power on. Are there any talks about records or anything like that at this stage? No, none of that nonsense. No, it's our management team now, Tom and Christy, like to keep us very humble, as I'm sure you're aware. So it's literally just about the next day, and giving our best for the next game. That was us. Yeah, and that next day is a semi-final, UPMC senior hurling semi-final. Kyle Dove, great tradition there, and great rivalry between the two of you, because you met in a club final 2 years ago now. Yeah, and it was a great game 2 years ago as well. But even before that, there's always been a huge rivalry between Naas and Kyle Dove there for the past nearly 5 or 6 years, I'd say, just that I can remember anyway from what I've been involved in. Listen, the lads are a great team. There's some very sharp, skillful hurlers on that team, and we never underestimate them. They're a serious outfit, hard working obviously as well, but
no, I'll be looking forward now, and the rest of the lads will be looking forward to a good hard, tough game.
Yeah. Finally, then, Ryan, you're still enjoying your hurling.
I am. Yeah. No, it's one of the pillars of life there. To be honest, at this stage, but no, enjoy working and enjoy getting out with the lads and playing a bit of stick. Yeah.
Best of luck, Ryan.
Thanks very much, Pat.
Well done.
Okay, thank you very much there to Mark Grace of Coil Dove, and just there now Ryan Bourne of Naas. And Ger, a repeat of a couple of years ago, Coil Dove and Naas in the semi-final. As far as my memory were concerned, and it's not too bad, goals won the game for Naas on that particular occasion in Mangard Park.
Yeah, and just to mention, full credit to the two lads there. And I know we have representatives of there, Olga Minut, for coming as well. It was great, Pat, for you to be out and around the county there, and great for those lads to give up their time. Often, I suppose, lads go into a bit of a bunker, and that's, totally be expected as well. I had a big game like that, but it was fantastic to hear those four lads, being so giving of their time and, coming out to talk to you, Pat. It's fantastic to kind of help us promote the games, but yeah, look, nice, Kyle Dove. What can you say about this game? Kyle Dove know themselves going into this. They are absolutely huge underdogs. There's nobody going to give Kyle Dove a chance outside of the Kyle Dove dressing room. And that's probably exactly the way Kyle Dove like it. They'll go in and battle as hard as they can. They'll need, an awful lot to go their way. They'll have to be at their absolute best, and probably Naas to be a little bit off it as well. Naas are just so strong. Even without James Burke, obviously, who was out this season. I don't believe that Simon Lacey has played this year. Darren Guerin, I don't think, has played yet. I'm not sure if they're back. Richie Hogan, I think, picked up what was termed an 8-week injury, I think, very early on in the championship. So he must be close to being back to full fitness, if not already there. So they're only going to get stronger, I think, as the championship
goes on. Missing Conan Byrne as well.
Conan Byrne, of course, yeah. I'm not sure if he's going to be back before the end of the championship. It'd be great to see him on a hurling field before the end of the year. He's had such a horrible year to be missing when so many exciting things have been happening at club and county level. So when you take out those players, and yet they're still so strong. They're awesome.
Having said that, Tommy, and everybody's pointing to an Naas victory, but Kyle Dove must be happy. They won the league. They defeated Naas in that league, albeit the fact that the county players weren't available to Naas. Then they suffered the following week in the championship. But the comeback against Selbridge, that has got to stand to Kyle Dove when they face Naas on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. I mean, geez, the excitement you could see last week after that game, and listening to the interview afterwards with the manager. They were bouncing after it. I mean, as he said, he picked out individuals, and he was saying that how the likes of the Gordons, these guys are tough men that they don't give up. Then you look at the likes of obviously Mark Delaney and Johnny Byrne and these lads. It's Naas. Everybody's expecting Naas to do what Naas do, and to put in a huge performance. But if Naas are struggling and if they're not on it. If balls are drifting wide, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. If things aren't going their way, Kyle Dove are probably the best placed club to take advantage of that at the weekend. And especially after that Selbridge game. Geez, Selbridge must be sitting at home still reeling from that. That was just, I even watched it back again last week just to pick up a couple of things near the end of the game. Were there little things that didn't go their way? And there obviously were a couple of wides from Selbridge near the end, but then Kyle Dove were the ones that took the chances. But there was Kyle Dove just took off the shackles at the end of that game. And their big players just took on shots as soon as there was a chance. And, they were luring into challenges. You could see how animated their sideline was as well. Really funny to look across on that video, and you can see them, and they're getting stuck in to the lads on the field. They're getting stuck into the opposition sideline. There was a lot of little things going on. So if there ever was a club that can rattle a Naas team, that aren't on it, it'll be Kyle Dove. But Naas just look like they're always focused, tuned in, ready to go every week. So
there are doubts, Chair, finally about Aon O'Neill. That would be a big blow should he not be available to play.
Yeah, he's had a good year. Obviously, one of their really experienced players, and that's the big thing that Kyle Dove have in their favour. They have those big game players. They have players who have played at the highest level, have played kind of in these massive games, and know how to produce when it really, really counts. So, as Tommy was saying, if Naas, for any reason, and to be fair, there's no reason to suspect they will because they haven't done for the last 5 years, but if for any reason they're complacent or taking anything for granted, then Kyle Dove are certainly capable of capitalising. They certainly can't afford, obviously, to let goes without saying to let Naas build up the kind of lead that Celbridge did. So they'll have to be an awful lot tighter in the first half. And that's, I suppose, from a kind of point of view, what they have to do. Just stay in the game for as long as possible. If they can be there or thereabouts heading into the final quarter, into the last 10 minutes, then maybe some doubts come into the Naas mind. Then that's when kind of the real battle-hardened warriors from Kildare can stand up. But look, Naas, if they make a flying start, and if the pace in the forward line causes the Kildare defence the kind of problems that Celbridge did in the first half, then they're really going to struggle, because the likes of James Dolan and Michael Owens coming from deep as well, that they caused an awful lot of problems. Jerry Keegan as well for that Kildare backline. And even though Kildare did turn it around in the second half to get on top of those players, as I said, if Naas get an opportunity to build up such a big lead, then it's going to be kind of a very early game that's over, really, for Kildare.
So that's semi-final 1 in the UPMC Kildare Senior Hurling Championship. That's at 2 o'clock on Sunday, and that will be followed by the Aero Curraquid and Maynooth at 3:45. And also during the week, I spoke to 2 players from those clubs. Later, you will hear from Cathal McCabe of Maynooth. But first of all, the very experienced Paul Dermody of Aero Curraquid. Well, Paul Dermody, it's not so long ago since you were playing in a B final. Now here you are in the championship semi-final. Things are good around Dunor.
Yeah, things are going well now. Had a really good year so far this year, and have blooded a lot of young players as well. And so we've a nice mix at the moment, and really looking forward to Saturday.
When you look back at the championship this year, how has it been for yourselves?
Oh well, look, it goes back to that first round, the prelim game. They're huge games, because where you end up, I think everyone wants to be in the winners group, and there's such fine margins between most of the teams. Let's be honest, like ourselves and Arclock played, it went to penalties, and Arclock ended up playing Moorfield to kind of stay up, and we ended up in the county semi-final. So that's the actual fine margins between a lot of the teams.
What's it different for you this year? Is it the mixture of I suppose, a very lot of experience and a lot of youth as well?
Maybe too much experience in some quarters, but it is that mix, yeah. And look, there's a real buy-in as well, and we're actually really enjoying our hurling. I'll be honest, we're really enjoying our hurling at the moment, and that's kind of lent itself to play with a bit of freedom, and also like having the boys on the county panel, the boost that they gave us when they came back after their successful McDonagh campaign, give the whole thing a lift again, and they've shown great leadership when they come back to us.
Not being negative, but did that short spell in the B Championship, did that do you well?
It did. It was really a reset for the club as well, and it allowed us to actually bring through some minors at that stage. It also allowed us to win silverware, which is hugely important, and then you can build on that.
How have preparations gone for the semi-final then?
Yeah, good. It's been a fairly long layoff, but we knew it was there, so we were able to get games in between it, and with trainings. Some of the lads are dual players involved with Cara and Raheens and that. But we're happy with the way preparations have went.
Yeah, you mentioned there it's been a long championship. Would you prefer a shorter run?
Yeah, I suppose so. It's hard to know too, because I think the whole thing has to be aligned if you are going to do a shorter run, because the disadvantage of having a shorter run then are the Kildare champions competitive in the Leinster club campaign, because you do have to think about that whoever wins Kildare, you want them to be as competitive as possible now that we're in obviously the senior club campaign, and that if the county final was a lot earlier, yeah, it would be great for the clubs in one sense, but then you have to think of, I think if the Leinster championship then brought back, I think it's something maybe on the calendar with the split season that they can certainly look at.
It's Maynooth now on Saturday. Obviously you would know a lot of the players from playing club football, but you know a lot of them from your time with Kildare as a county team.
We do, yeah, and in fairness, even when I was in with David Harity and that, the few who were getting in from Maynooth at that stage, they gave a real lift to the place. Look, they've been producing really, really good underage players. It's been hugely important for hurling in Kildare that a town the size of Maynooth is now a hurling stronghold as well. And we're still confident enough. I think, in fairness to Maynooth too, they do play a lovely brand of hurling and kind of try to keep possession as much as possible. So I think it should lend itself to a very good game.
Finally then, Paul, what's this about Paul Dermody? Involved with Sculwary here in Clane, involved with the Dublin setup and playing for Aero Curraquid. No end to the talent.
about talent, but it's busy, all right. It's busy. Look, I really enjoyed my time with Dublin this year, and it was great to be involved in a setup and getting to an All-Ireland semi-final and that, and looking forward to getting stuck back into that next year. But it's just the draw of the club. It's your club, it's your friends you're playing with. It's if we were playing with Dublin on the Saturday or whatever, you're back Sunday morning in Dunor, and that brings you back down to earth. And look, at this stage in my career, when you're still enjoying it and the body can still do it, I think you nearly appreciate it more.
Well, enjoy the match on Saturday, Paul.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you. Well done. Okay. Well, Cathal, how have preparations gone for the semi-finals?
Not too bad now. We've had, I think it's 3 weeks coming up now, 4 weeks when the semi-final starts, so we've had a good block of training. Tough block now. Johnny has us working hard, nothing easy, but no, it's been good. It's been good. It's not very often you get a block of 4 weeks to prepare for semi-final, so we used it wisely. So hopefully now come Saturday all the hard work is shown now.
It's Johnny's second year, so you're getting to know him, and he's getting to know you.
Yeah, no, definitely, and he's brought his brother Jimmy in with us this year, so there's the two of them bouncing off each other. But yeah, as you said, second year with Johnny this year, probably the first year you're getting to know him, so we all know each other a bit better this year. It's probably helped us in training and performances on the pitch. You can probably see that in certain games. So yeah, no, it's been a good year so far.
Yeah, no, but you've had your challenges coming up to this semi-final because you've lost a couple of players through injuries.
Yeah, everyone knows the big one, David Coulter's obviously gone, so in fairness, he wasn't here last year either, so it's nothing new to us. But we had a couple of lads back, Tyke Ford's back this year, a couple of younger lads, Tom Power and Oran Byrne are stepping up as well, so we have a decent good squad there this year. So we haven't felt Coulter's lost just yet, so hopefully on Saturday it'll be the same, but we shall see anyway.
And Tom Power had a great game the last day, wasn't it?
Oh, Tom's brilliant. Tom's flying it this year. He's flying it with the minors as well. He was brilliant with Kildare 20, so we've known Tom's been coming for a couple of years, so we're blessed now that Coulter's gone. Obviously Tom stepped up, he's hitting the frees as well, so he's very big player for us.
When you look back at the championship so far, was the Ardclough game the most difficult one for you?
It was probably the turning point in our season, because obviously we'd lost to Stourbridge in the prelim. We obviously had the big win over Moorfield that was probably expected, in fairness, and then game 2 of the group was always the key one, especially in the losers group. So, and the way we probably wasn't our best performance, but in that game it's all about just getting the win, and then you set yourself up for a winner takes all against Kyle Love. So it wasn't pretty, but we got the job done, and that's probably kicked us on to where we are now.
You were in the final last year. You could feel sorry for yourselves because you lost, or you could build on it. It looks like you've built on it.
Yeah, that's it. I think Johnny said it last year in the dressing room after that county final defeat. Like, there's no point feeling sorry for ourselves. Like, Nace are a brilliant team. We all know that. There's no shame in losing to them. It's about how you react to it, and so far we've reacted well. I suppose Saturday is the big acid test now. We have 4 weeks. Will all our preparations come out on Saturday? Hopefully. But semi-finals are there to be won. It's not really about the performance on the day, it's just about winning, I suppose. And
you're facing an Aero team, Paul Dermody in goal still, yeah. And they have a great tradition.
Yeah, no, Aero, we've had a couple of great battles with them over the years. I think we've faced them the last 3 years in Championship, so there's been nothing in it every year we've played them. We know a lot about them, they know a lot about us. As you said, Paul Dermody's back as well. We've got a couple of bodies back, so it has the makings of a brilliant game, hopefully, and it's the second of the two as well, so hopefully be a big crowd in to watch. Hopefully a brilliant game of hurling anyway.
Finally then, Carl, you concentrated on the hurling this year. It's been a great year for you, for Kildare as well, so you're looking forward to a semi-final then on Saturday?
Yeah, no, it's been a brilliant year, especially with the way Kildare went. I suppose it probably set the club scene up perfectly now that, obviously we're Lee McCarthy. There's probably that bit more onus on us as county players gone back with the club, try lead it that bit more. But no, it's been brilliant, as you said. Everything's kind of fed into each other. The club's going brilliantly at the minute, and now the big one Saturday. Hopefully it's 4 weeks training will put us in good stead now for a good performance on Saturday, and hopefully a good result then.
Best of luck then, Carl.
Thank you very much, Pat.
Our thanks once again to Cathal McCabe of Maynooth and Paul Dermody of Aero Curraqueel. Ger, this one should be really, really tight. Aero Curraqueel and Maynooth, although Maynooth probably our favourites. Aero were down in the B division 2 years ago. Maynooth have appeared in the county final last year, so Maynooth will be favourites, I guess.
Yeah, and Maynooth, I think, have ended Aero Oak's season over the last 2 years at the quarterfinal stage 2 years ago, and then also in the semi-final last year. So, yeah, that gives them an edge, you'd imagine. But I think this one will be tighter than either of those two games. It was 5 points, I think, between the sides. I think actually the quarterfinal a couple of years ago was very close. But yeah, 5 points between the sides in the semi-final last year. I think this one will be even closer again. Maynooth, they're without David Coulter. He is a big loss. And although Tom Power stood up the last day and had a monster of a game, he scored 110, and that's a difficult level to kind of reach consistently. But Maynooth will certainly need that from him. Colin McCabe, obviously, he played the last day. He's been struggling with injuries since the end of the intercounty season. Again, he's one of the guys that gave of his time there. So great to see him back on the pitch, but Maynooth will need him firing on all cylinders. Because Éire Óg, they have good strength and depth right throughout that panel. Obviously Dermody in goal is defying the father time. He's still as agile as ever and still control himself around the goal mouth. And they have the two Dolans, obviously, and Liam Dempsey is as good a free taker as there is in the county as well. So Éire Óg have a lot of threats. And yeah, this one to me is obviously Maynooth are favourites, and the obvious thing to say is that Maynooth will probably win this game. But I think Éire Óg can make a real game of it, and I think this one could be very tight.
Yeah, and Tommy, when you listen to and watch a fellow like Paul Dermody and the enthusiasm that he still brings to the game, that's bound to have I suppose an impression on the younger lads in Éire Óg Coracqueel and the lads around Donore.
Yeah, if you talk to anybody in Donore, like, they're mad about their hurling, and they take it very, very serious, very seriously. And just getting into that winners group this year, I don't know, would some people have looked and saying, okay, at least they're safe. I know they're only a couple of years kind of in senior after coming up from that brilliant Senior B championship win that they had a few years ago, but to get those couple of wins that they needed over Selbridge and Confey, obviously they had that heavy defeat at the end to Naas. But am I wrong in saying, is it a month? Is it just 4 weeks since they played? Mm-hmm. So that's what they get. I know it's the same for Naas, obviously, but that's what you, and for Maynooth, but it's such a wait as well. It's such a long wait. It's a separate conversation I know we've had. We're not going to expect like one team to be coming in cold. I mean, if anybody's coming in warm, it's going to be Kyle Dove and the other one. But the quality that Éire Óg have, and in fairness, like they have put in some good performances this year. And you would imagine the return of Colin McCabe from Maynooth is going to be obviously massive. I'd say David Coulter could be easily lined up to be definitely on the team of the championship for the Joe McDonagh Cup, possibly even for player of the championship. So his loss is absolutely massive. I agree with Jar. I think that this could be a lot tighter than some people think. Maynooth gathering a bit of momentum though. That really good last round win that they had over Kyle Dove in the league as well. Could make it really interesting. I must look at the betting actually and see, as I don't think Paddy Power does Kildare hurling, so I can't find anything on it.
What is he missing out on? What is he missing out on?
He does the senior and intermediate football, so I might send in a little request to see if we can get it. But now listen, there are two interesting semi-finals, but definitely the second one as regards what could be a really tight, exciting game. That's the one to look out for, I think.
So there you are, Naas versus Kyle Dove. That's at 2:00 in Cedar St. Conlas Park on Saturday, and Éire Óg Coracqueel versus Maynooth at 3:45, also in Cedar St. Conlas Park on Saturday. So we're looking forward to those. Friday night, of course, we'll see the UPMC Junior Hurling Championship Final. That's in Cedar St. Conlas Park. Newbridge, Kappa versus Leixlip. Good to see Kappa involved there, Jar.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm not going to try and bluff my way through the junior hurling. I haven't been on any of these games, but yeah, absolutely. And like we said, a bit abroad for the Senior B. It's great for hurling around the county with any of these kind of clubs who are trying to develop hurling in it. It is important that we have hurling in every area of the county. And Kappa, that's there's a fourth to the 5 tiers, but to them it's going to be the All-Ireland final. So it'll be a game that obviously they beat Kyle Dove in the semi-final. That was a fantastic win for them. Kyle Dove having topped that group in Group B. So yeah, it'll be a game to watch out for. But yeah, just I suppose that the more clubs playing at any sort of decent level of hurling, the better for the game in the county.
Yeah, and likewise then, of course, Tommy, the Junior A Hurling Championship Final, that's on a Friday night as well in Mangard Pitch 1. That's at 7:45. St. Lawrence's versus Naas. We know what Naas can do at every level, but to have Lawrence's in a final, that's good for the hurling in down in around that area.
south of the county patch, you can say it. It's all right, you know. We're
Lawrence is covered more than the south.
I know, I'm surely bloody sure to do. Oh no, it is like it is great. I mean, and then just like going from one end to the other, like the Kappa thing is fantastic. They only took up hurling. I think they started their nurseries. I was talking to somebody who was it 2010, 2011, where they started to bring it in. I don't think they have any senior hurling, or sorry, don't have any adult hurling championship titles. I don't know if they have any across any age group. I think they have a couple of camogie ones. But it's brilliant to see them there. And this is League Slip's second team. But I mean, like League Slip with their lads in the senior B as well, like having two finals is great. But the likes of Larry's putting through a second team. You know, Wolf Tones, you can see there as well, them putting in a second team. You know, after only coming into the championship a couple of years ago, and their first team progressing each year out in Kill and Salins. You know, so they're hoovering up a few of those players north of Naas there. And to see that, because that's Naas's fourth team, I would imagine, in that junior hurling final. But those Larry's lads won't care. Like to have a second team down there is brilliant. I know there's a good few Athy lads gone out to play hurling for Larry's. So you imagine places like Athy and Castle Mitchell, Ribbon, Grange, Castle Dermot. If there are people interested in hurling down that area, Larry's is the place to go, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we give out an awful lot about structures in the football side of things, but you know the extra tiers, 5 tiers there in the hurling, it makes it competitive. It gives like the second St. Lawrence's team there, you know, Kappa, it gives those teams an opportunity to play competitive games and do what every player, no matter what you're doing, wants to do, which is play games that 1 are competitive, 2 you can win, and 3 ultimately are thereabouts for a shot at lifting some sort of silverware to bring home and bring to the pub afterwards. So yeah, look, it's a nod to the county board for that. It's certainly, I think those extra tiers and extra championship games are a big benefit for progressing the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Then moving on to Sunday, and we have 2 major finals on in the UPMC hurling championship. First of all, at 2:00 we have the intermediate hurling final. That's between Maynooth and Naas, and our referee today is the man from Leagues of Conor Daly. And then another big one, it's I suppose 2 teams trying to get back up to the senior championship proper. That's in Cedros and Conless Park. It's the UPMC B hurling championship, senior B hurling championship final between Clane and Leagues at 4:00. Fergus Devereaux is our man in the middle there. Ger, you know, 2 teams, Clane and Leaksip, they were there looking at getting to senior county finals in the last number of years. Here they are competing in the B championship, and they want to get out of that B championship, I'm sure.
Yeah, and as Era Ogov showed, you know, sometimes taking that backward step can maybe benefit you in the long run. You know, Era Ogov have been competing there at the business end of the senior championships and coming back up out of the senior B, and there's the potential for either one of these teams to do that if they get over this hurdle first of all at the weekend. You know, we've talked about it before. We did mention that, with all due respect to Naas, and it's fantastic that they're able to field 4 teams competing at a championship. But I don't think there's anybody outside of Naas that would be missing them in this final, because it means we have a genuine final with promotion at stake, rather than maybe somebody getting promoted even if Naas win the championship. So from that point of view, it was good to see Clane come through against Naas, and they'll take a huge amount from that game. I think there was 4 points between the sides when they met earlier in the group stages. When Clane and League Slip met, the Clane were probably, you know, one of the only teams to really give League Slip a good game in those group stages. So it's a huge game for both of these teams, because obviously the loser, you know, you're back to the senior B for another year next year, and it's kind of 12 months down the road before you can even think about getting back to senior level again. So huge game at stake for these 2 teams. And League Slip, we talked about their footballers, you know, they're aside to sometimes, you know, they feel they're down on the luck or something. You know, they don't quite make the most of the numbers that they have in the area. They've obviously got brilliant facilities out there, fantastic club, and so many people that put in a huge effort, and they probably don't get the silverware or the kind of the big game victories that they probably deserve. But you know, this is a big opportunity for them on Sunday.
Yeah, and Tommy, I suppose looking at the table there, Leaks at top to Clane were in second place, but you might feel that the semi-final victory for Clane over Naas, 117 to 113, that might have brought that Leaks team, that Clane team on quite a bit, you know, because in fairness, Naas have been perennial winners of the B championship, and I know they can't go any further, but they're a formidable side, that Naas team, and Clane to beat them by 4 points, that must give them a bit of fillip for Sunday.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've spoken before about hurling Clane, and it's a proud club, and it's a proud hurling club as well. To lose to Naas's second team, it'd be consistently kind of lose to Naas second team. It'd just be a real kick in the gut for Clane. And you'd wonder, with they're trying to bring young players through, and they're in their heads are thinking, Jesus, if we can't even get close to Naas's second team, where are we? Where are we going? But to get that victory over a really, really good Naas B team, I mean, it really is. If you look at some of the players on it, I mean, we all know that they'd probably do a decent job in the senior championship anyway. But for Clane to get that win I think was really important for them. They have so many experienced players on the field when they play. And we can see, like, how well Paddy McKenna's doing outfield, and likes of Keane Shanahan and these lads. Just real good experienced players. And I'd imagine there's a lot of nerves there at the moment, because they realise there's a lot of expectation. When you're in a huge club like Clane, which it is, it's a massive club, it's a monster club in Kildare. And there's a lot of pressure on these hurlers to get back up to senior. And it's not like they've underperformed that much in the last couple of years either. They've just been there. They've been so close to getting back up. So it's a huge match for them. But League Slip have been absolutely flying this year. I mean, we see the form of Darragh Melville in the white jersey this year for Kildare. God, anytime he played for Kildare, he was so exciting to watch. Such a wonderful player. So Clane will have their homework done on him. We said it. I think Richard was the first one to bring it up a couple of weeks ago, and George just reiterated it there. But to have a final that is a final, it's an actual final, and it means something, and not to have, they're playing Naas in the final, so they're guaranteed promotion. It just completely takes away from it. This will be a belter. This could be one of the best finals of all of hurling and football across the championship. So it's Sunday at 4:00. That should be an absolute cracker.
Are we looking at extra time, Ger?
Yeah, potentially, absolutely. I don't think there'll be anything more than a couple of points coming into the final stretch between them. So yeah, very easily you could be looking at extra time. And yeah, is it a replay or penalties? Is it? I'm not quite sure. But the final probably a replay, is it? So yeah, no, I couldn't.
No, extra time applies according to the fixture list anyway.
I don't think there's been a replay. Has there been when's the last time there was a replay in any of them? I think the replays are gone.
Well, recently, 2 years ago, I think there was a replay in either the intermediate or the B championship, one or other.
You'd wonder, is it like, there was a replay in the intermediate final, which ironically was Maynooth and Naas as well.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I remember that was that replay. But you're just wondering, would you prefer a replay, or would you prefer the excitement of extra time and penalty shootout?
We'll find out on Sunday. We'll find out on Sunday. So those are the two big hurling finals on Sunday. The Senior B UPNC Senior B hurling championship final at 4:00. That's between Clane and League Slip, and the intermediate hurling championship between Maynooth and Naas. That one is at 2:00. Those two games, as well as the senior hurling championship semi-finals, they will be live on Clubber TV this particular weekend, and of course there will be full coverage in the Kildare Nationalist and photographs as well on Tuesday next. I'm Pat Costello, and thanks again to Tommy and to Ger. We'll see you again next week.